Hello, Abraham. So I ended the South Pacific cruise, so I only found it appropriate to kick off the Cancun cruise.
Can you hear him?
I hear no's. I hear yeses. Okay, so it's been like 20 months since I've been listening, and 3 cruises and a workshop, and things have moved really fast. And I just have like this question on like physical pain, because I've been like transforming my body a lot. I've lost like a bunch of weight and getting much better shape, and that everything helps. I have a physical pain, and I know that it's only something that's in my vibration. But what is like a sifting process or something that I can do to learn more to get rid of this pain? Because it's excruciating in my base chakra, basically, is where I believe it is. And I just don't know how to unleash it. I feel like there's a beast inside of me that needs to come out, and I don't know how to like let it loose.
We don't think they want it to go.
Oh. Okay.
The thing about physical discomfort, or anything that you say you want to go away, is that this is an inclusion-based universe.
Right, yeah.
And the more you are aware of something that you want to go away, the more you are aware of something that you hold to you. And so that is the tricky part about a manifestation, an unwanted manifestation that has managed enough momentum, or that you have allowed enough momentum, that now it has see it, hear it, smell it, taste it, touch it, feel it translation. Sometimes vibrational discord just feels like anger, and sometimes vibrational discord feels like frustration or overwhelmment. Sometimes vibrational discord, and by that we just mean a desire that you don't believe, they feel like emotions. But if you have been allowing some of those vibrational discords to be current, and therefore current, and therefore current, and therefore current, and therefore chronic, then after a little while, the momentum of them just takes them to a more precise, more specific, translatable place. A lot of times, our physical friends believe that they are not sensitive to emotion. But we want to say that is never the case. You are never not sensitive to emotions. You have so many emotions that are flowing through you that sometimes they become something that feels normal to you. So you just allow them to continue to flow, not realizing that they are building some emotion. They are building some emotional momentum. They are building enough momentum that then is something that then has your translatable attention through your physical senses. Now, we are so appreciative of this question, because you are certainly not the only one who has it, and it allows us to talk about something in a way that we have not talked about it before. So, since you are translating vibration all the time through your emotions, even when you say you aren't, you are. And you know what overwhelmment feels like, and you know what fear feels like, and you know what anger feels like, and you know what love feels like, and you know what appreciation feels like. In other words, you are translating these vibrations through your solar plexus, through what you want to call your energy center. Everything that is moving vibrationally because of law of attraction gathers momentum. And the more momentum that it gathers, then the more specific it is. And the more specific it is, then the more ability you have to see it, hear it, smell it, taste it, touch it. So let's just say, maybe for the first time ever, that anything that you are experiencing physically, you've been feeling emotionally for a very long time. Let's just say it that way. Because most of you think it's the other way around. I feel pain in my physical body and therefore I am emotionally distraught over it. No, you had the emotional thing going on before it was translated into greater specifics by your see it, hear it, smell it, taste it, touch it, feel it. Don't you like knowing that? Isn't it helpful to know? And so rather than starting on the outside of it where you're trying to treat it with ointments or surgery or physical manipulation or whatever, what you want to do is treat it from where it began, or at least try to find some emotional relationship to it. Another thing that we want to say to you, and we love having this conversation with you, because there is not some big, dark, heavy, problematic thing that you've got going on. You've not been carrying around some terrible burden that is now manifested in a very dramatic physical discomfort. It's not like that at all. It's that you represent almost everyone on the planet in the sense that you're sensitive to energy and you care too much what everybody thinks. And you've been trying to control what they think in all of these very clever ways that you have of going about it. And what you've been trying to control mostly is their perception of you. Their perception of you. You're wanting to be understood and you're not wanting to be misunderstood. And you're not wanting to be not heard, and you're not wanting to be unseen, and you're not wanting to be misunderstood. And so what happens when there's even one person in your life, and you know the one we're talking about, when there's even one person in your life who you continually feel that you must explain yourself to, since you cannot control the perception, you can't control the way they understand what you mean for them to understand, you develop a sort of tension. It manifests in struggle or strain. It manifests in trying to do something through action and words that only can be accomplished through energy alignment. And so,
should I just stop talking then? I feel like that's like the only way that I can like help people understand, and like just like to stop and be easy.
You almost
with it.
have.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
No, just stop caring what they think about what you say. Say all that you want to say.
Oh.
Say all that you want to say. Just decide that you're no longer going to be a reactionary. You're not going to have a reaction to what they say back. So you understand that it's a vibrational universe, and you understand that law of attraction abounds, and you understand that you get what you think about, whether you want it or not. So since you get what you think about, that means your point of attraction really matters. And your point of attraction is about what you're thinking, which means what you're broadcasting. Your point of attraction is about what you're saying, what you're broadcasting. Esther is getting ready to make another dash card to put in the vehicle that says, what am I broadcasting? What am I broadcasting? What am I broadcasting to that driver over there? What am I broadcasting? Are you kidding me? What are you broadcasting? What am I broadcasting? What am I broadcasting? What I'm broadcasting equals my point of attraction. So think about it. You say something to someone, and maybe you're in the receiving mode. Maybe you're tuned in, tapped in, turned on. Maybe you've been meditating. Maybe you're flying high. Maybe you're feeling much as you've been feeling this morning. Maybe you are in love with life. Maybe you're in the receptive mode when you're broadcasting. And if you are in the receptive mode when you're broadcasting, then you are broadcasting with a lot of momentum. When you're in the receptive mode and you have all that is source energy at your back, when you are broadcasting and source energy is flowing with you because you're pinching none of it off, that is a force to be reckoned with. And what we mean by that is that kind of alignment is more powerful than millions and millions and millions of people that are just in the action mode. There's so much leverage in that kind of alignment. So when you're broadcasting, when you are speaking from that place of alignment, then it doesn't matter what anybody else's response to you is. Esther remembers 100 years ago. having a van with a CB radio in it.
What's that?
And as she was out in the airwaves, she could hear every now and again someone with a big old tower who was talking on his CB radio, and none of them could communicate with each other who were caravanning in these vans because the CB radio transmitter was so big and so awesome it dominated the airwaves and they couldn't get in. Breaker, 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 breaker. Hello, lady trucker, they'd say. Breaker, 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 couldn't get in. The guy in that town sat there all day with his 50 million megawatts of whatever it was and just dominated the airwaves. Well, that's what it's like when you tune into source energy. You've got this powerful, 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 powerful energy, knowing all of this alignment going for you. And it does not matter as you speak from that receiving mode, aligned place. It does not matter to you how anyone is receiving you because your alignment is so profound. But if you are not in that receiving mode, if you're in the receiving mode of feeling some vulnerability or the receiving mode of worrying about what somebody thinks or whatever, responding to some condition that has happened, some situation that has happened, and you're broadcasting, now your broadcast is not that powerful. And in your less powerful broadcast, someone responds to you and then you begin responding to their response, even if it's not about words. You see what we're getting at?
Definitely.
And after a while, what begins to happen is your broadcast becomes less than it could be. As you broadcast continuously or pretty often from that less receptive mode. There's this receptive mode where you're in sync with who you really are, and there's the receptive mode when you're feeling overwhelmed. Your receptor is always on, and what's coming back to you is coming in response to where you've got your receiver set. Yes? And so it really is about caring first and foremost about what your emotions are, which is really the nice conversation that we began with just now, isn't it? I care about my emotions more than about the physical. But Abraham, my emotion just feels like emotion, and the physical discomfort is so much more real. And we say it's not more real, it's just more translated by you and your physical senses. Can you hear that? You're just translating it with more specifics, that's all. It's not more real. It's not more real. Your emotional basis is the reality that we really want you to focus upon. So rather than talking about physical discomfort, begin for a while talking about mood. Begin talking about attitude. Begin talking about how you feel emotionally. Because we want you to know that nothing ever comes about as a result of some really, 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 really big thought right at first crack out of the box. It's always these emotional things that you're relating to this and this and this and this and this that get that momentum going. And now that you understand it, what is the source of it? What is the source of it? It's always what you're broadcasting. The source of everything that happens to you, no matter what anybody else says, no matter at what stage of your experience that they begin checking in on you and assigning some sort of label to it, it doesn't matter. In every single case, the source of whatever it is that you are living, the source of how much money is in your bank account, the source of how much joy you're having with your family, the source of how you feel in your physical body, the source of every single thing that you are experiencing on any subject, no matter what, the source of it is your mood. It's your mood. It's what you walk around with. It's your attitude. And your attitude, that mood, those are words that describe your emotional beingness, yes? So, as your emotional beingness is one of caring about something over which you have no control, well, then you're screwed.
I'm getting that now, yeah.
Enough?
For now, I might be up later. But yeah,
We like beginning in this way because we're making more of this than your experience is really calling for. But we do want to get everyone's attention, especially yours, that you're walking around seeming like everything's wonderful, but if you've got this underlying thing that's going on that really equals your point of attraction, then that's when you feel like you're being blindsided by things, and you never ever are. And you're not missing big things, you're missing little things. You're missing little chronic opportunities to shift your energy, shift your energy, shift your energy, shift your energy. There's not some big bad secret that you're carrying with just that one. There's not some big dark secret that you're carrying around that you're trying to keep hidden or that you're worried about. Nothing like that. It's just a sensitivity to what's going on in your world, and a not yet determination that you're going to catch the vibration early on. It's sort of like, we were explaining this to Esther the other day because of something that was going on, and the momentum of it was far enough down the road that now she was dealing with uncomfortable things. And like you, she was wanting to know what to do about it, or really what the basis of it is. And so we had this same kind of conversation with her. And then we were talking about how happy she is when she's driving, and how comfortable she is on the road, and how nice it is to have her hands on the wheel, and how much she loves the open road, and how natural it is to stay in her lane, and how in control of her vehicle she is, and how she never tries to occupy the same space as the car ahead of her. And when she feels the rumble strips on the edge, she does something about it. She doesn't feel the rumble strip and say, oh, I'll wait a little while later, like snoozing your alarm in the morning. I'll wait a little while. She doesn't wait until she's off in the grass or off in the mud or off in the ditch or off the cliff before she corrects her driving. She stays in her lane. She knows about staying in her lane. And it is so natural to her because she has not enjoyed being off in the ditch. She has not enjoyed being off the cliff. It's so inconvenient. Messes up your car. You have to wait for a whole other body. It's... Then you got to grow up again. All that growing of teeth and hair and getting your parents off your back. It's a slow, inconvenient process. So you sort of want to stay in your lane. And it's the same sort of thing with your emotions. Don't get off in the ditch. Don't get off there. Don't you know it? Don't you know if you ponder it just a little while, the thoughts will get bigger? And heaven forbid, if you talk to somebody else about it and they're in any kind of agreement with you, off you go, off you go, off you go. And the thing about it is, we know you think that you're looking for a solution, but you're not. You're on your way to the ditch. And the solutions are not in the ditch. There's just more problems in the ditch for you to ditch about. That's all that's over there. So you just want to be sensitive to the rumble strips. And when you feel the rumble strips, when you're aware that you're crossing the line, Esther has a wonderful new vehicle. In fact, she has two of them exactly alike in two different places. And when she even approaches the line, even if there's not a rumble strip, the car knows it and it shakes her seat. For quite a while, she just rode there. You know, you want to get your feel for your vehicle, yes? And so you want to know where you are. You want to know where you are. You want to know where you are. And so you just have to practice it. And you'll get really good at recognizing that this is headed for something that's headed for more. And so this is the most important thing that we want to say to you. You don't have to go back and uncreate anything. All you have to do is begin creating from where you are in a way that feels better. Because the energy today will take the place of anything that you've been spewing. You're not bringing it forward with you, but sometimes you do repeat it because your habits are your habits. And so as you begin caring more about how you feel and doing something about that, everyone, on a more regular basis, what happens is the momentum that had been created by past attention to different subjects causing different emotions begins to subside. And at the same time, it begins to be replaced with a more consistent, more chronic flow. And then eventually, And very quickly, you realize that, oh, that was bothering me is no longer bothering me. It seems to have left my experience. And the reason is because the basis of it left your experience. Not something big, just a whole lot of little troublesome things. Helpful?
Very.
Really.